Up 3 in the end.
Okay, if I'm trying to guess what the idea is there from Linz, it's just we got to retake the site. I'm gonna jump in, try to turn some heads, and then my teammates can move after that. I think that's the idea. I don't know if that's necessarily a good one. That's pretty psychopathic because there's a lot of corners you got to check, and the teammates, the spots they're working in from is not ideal. So not the biggest fan of the setup there from LAG, but maybe Carolina, just the team to perfectly capitalize off of it. And I will say LAG has been pretty on point with guessing which site Carolina is going to off the rip. That time they guessed wrong and got punished.
A little bit of a Leroy Jenkins moment, possibly, Chance. It's a classic. RC.
At least Leroy heard the calculation of the odds beforehand, though, you know?
And he had chicken. RC from Kiz has been nullified. No problem. They know that Kiz is going to be out of the play for a moment. So again, the Ravens, a very slow march forward. They've got a little bit more space towards the center of the map. Not a huge amount.
The biggest problem for LAG has been the amount of time they've had left on the clock. That's a RC car where 40 seconds has been burned. You haven't moved up, and now an RC car is actually slowing you down again. 45 seconds have gone by. You're still just trying to work me. This is tough.
Yeah, no, Slash has cleared out the B-bomb site. He's cleared it out for a second. He's got Linz on edge. It's close by. Somebody find it again. We're just ripping through time. Run, Linz! 9 HP. He's hurt. Here come the Ravens, though, picking him up. Oh, boy. It goes off with a bang. And now the battle on the site. And, lads, you've got no time. Lunas has got a gun. Tej can just in and out here. Doesn't have to worry about this fight for too long. Running out of manpower. Running out of time. Gorillas makes again in a bad spot. Luna's fighting. 10 seconds on it. Last man to go. And what a round from the Ravens.
I'd be giggling too if I was Gwen, because that one I think a little bit easier and a little bit trolly of a round as well. Slasher certainly having himself a very strong game at 8-4. It was his RC car that slowed them down so much and even got the damage done on Linz. That is not a toy you want to find on Christmas at all. But it was also just TJ hanging out in Ticket. He gets the call that Linz is one shot over by Melee, just pokes his head out, gets the freebie kill, and just dips out. And then it's like, hey, there's 25 seconds left on the clock. We have to pick up bomb and do everything. LAG just, the clock has not been their friend.
Yeah, it's a 5v4 right now. Time has been against them nearly always. Huge bomb in hand, and we're creeping towards A under the very slow and patient watch of Slasher right now. Tej on a force spree as well, likely to have an RC car of his own. Oh, Gwyn. Lovely opening exchange, but too many members of the Gorillas for him to deal with, though. Nice first blood again from Kiz.
Too many men. I want to do some pull-ups. TJ, though, in a 3v4. Again, Dicey with the bomb guy, the one doing this, gets the pick. And he's survived and gotten out for the moment. So that's just a gorgeous play from Tej, considering there were 3 purple arrows right next to him. Impressive to survive.
It's a 2-man show right now. Yeah, with this close to the bomb site. Tej is dancing. Slasher, beautiful shots at range. Nice shots again from Lunas, but not really enough. Linz now has managed to pick up a flank. That's going to be a problem, though, if Slasher does get eyes on. Tej is down now. A 1-man show over by the bomb. Vivid still with the watch for live from behind. But again, the one-eyed Raven this time has got to bring his fight forward. Less than 30 to go. And he will be that watchful man on the bomb.
Yep, and Slasher backed up to play his life because all Vivid is saying is, I got bomb checks, they're not there. Slasher, just protect me. And once again, Father Time comes for us all. Someone's got to hop the bomb, and they're not going to be able to do it.
Nobody beats Time. Hey, nobody got a good record against Time. Linz is on the defuse, but it's not going to matter, son. The Ravens, an iron grip, and an immaculate hold, and a beautiful round of search and destroy. Gwyn can barely believe it.
I think Gwyn is still waking up, maybe wiping the crust out of his eyes. He just looks, I don't even know. He looks very happy, though. He's a jolly Gwyn on this beautiful Saturday. I don't know what's going on, but Carolina showing off that they are just clear-cut a better team. Even in a 3 versus 4, a guy like TJ just finding the play to get the pick on Priesta. And then Priest is probably looking at it and be like, aren't 3 of you guys right next to me? How did no one get this trade? And by the time they actually try to go in and kill Tej after he's planted the bomb, the better teamwork from Carolina is just there. Slasher's there for the pickup on the trade, but the trade doesn't even come through. Now you got the man advantage. And of course, the long-term problem, you planted for top window, and LAG are just so slow and so far away, never going to be able to crack that code. So Priest might have had a good day in S&D yesterday, but today he got let down and might have let the team down a little bit as well.
We'll find out how this how Center Control goes, folks. But yeah, the Ravens making short work of Kismet there. Basically, the only man certainly putting up a wicked fight as far as the gorilla mates are concerned. But 2 maps down, maybe 1 to go, Desk.
It's been swift from the Ravens, and I think we can all identify the round where things went wrong for LAG. And you never found your footing if you were LAG afterwards. I'm worried about this squad in a game 3, but more importantly, Carolina looks like they could be a team to watch on their side of the bracket.
Yeah, they look so good, man. I mean, and even some of these tough situations, the round that you mentioned, like the round 6 is the 2v4. TJ gets all the way behind. Slasher just playing patient. TJ is able to just find a kill, immediately guns Lunars, and then they just close in and win that round. And then even as HP down the stretch, it was so close, like so many lead changes, Allie, and then we get down to that, what is that, P1, right? And you see LAG investing so many players over towards stage, like they're about to have control of hedges, but Carolina not going down without a fight, just getting every single trade that they need. This team is disgusting, bro, on all levels.
They're unreal. I mean, going to this hard point, I mean, LAJ tried to take time and kind of ISO that player by stage and collapse, but like they died way too early. There's a moment where like Kiz is kind of like the key player and he's pushing through the backside of mid to try and get the wrap on stage, but his teammates are already engaging. So by the time he gets there, 2 of them had fallen and he can't even pick up the last player because all 4 of Carolina Royal Ravens are still up and they're still getting time. So for LAG, just a couple of in-game mistakes for me. It was really unfortunate, but on the side of Carolina, like hardpoint looks amazing, and that's where they've been struggling this stage. So I'm happy to see this map 1 go the way it did.
Yeah, like right there, you're seeing LAG, like they have the right idea. They just can't get time. Like every time they get a guy over towards hill, it's like a 2-piece comes in. Carolina's applying that pressure, and then before you know it, TJ's new all the way in the back, making a huge play, finding kills so far in this series. TJ's been the MVP.
Slasher with a 9 streak early in the game. TJ finishing it with a 6 streak of his own, and it's Carolina taking our first hard point. We have Hacienda, then Protocol will be hard point number 2 if we get to a game 4. Looking forward though. Talk to me about Hacienda for this squad, Alley Cat. Actually, you know what? We got our game 2 highlights going right now. Let's take a look here at Slasher and TJ. They're the real story here. 18 and 9 combined.
They were the story in the map number 1 too. They are feeling so good in this matchup. So map number 1, TJ 35 and 27, Slasher like 31 and 23 or something. Then you go to the map number 2. TJ has 3 first bloods, ends 9 and 5, and Slasher ends 9 and 4. So them two feeling like a duo versus LAG. But instead of Carolina, their defenses were incredible. I felt like throughout the entirety of this map too, and that's something they have been struggling in, I feel like, through the first half of these stages. So Carolina Royal Ravens, great S&D out of them from the side of LAG, was promising until it wasn't.
And Kismet goes 12 and 6 for the L.
For the L.
The 6 times he dies are the 6 rounds they lose. How angry are you as a player?
I think you're just incredibly frustrated, right? Because like he's a great Surge player, and you just seeing like a 2v4, it's 3-2 at that point, ends up being like a game you feel like you could have won, like that's a massive swing round. And then even like the hard point you look at, you're like, man, we're so close in that one as well. Just keep making these same mistakes, not taking our time and waiting for an actual good execute on a push. Like this team so far this year, man, gentlemen, it's just frustrating watch, and you can see it on the player cams.
LAG needs to win 3 straight if they want to survive in this bracket. Currently, 1 game away is Royal Ravens from another top 4 finish and 10 points with the win. Allie, this is going to be a fun day.
This is going to be a fun day. I'm sad that LAG wasn't able to get that 1 round to tie us 1-1, because now we're staring down the barrel of a possible 3-0.
And as you can see on that zoom in, LAG's last match went to a game 5. If they want another one, you got to start right here. Nameless.
It's GG. The desk got all 3 predictions right. I'm calling it right now, man. Might be one of the first times we're unanimous and it's correct.
While we're waiting on the players, let's take a look here at some of the numbers. When it comes to defense, LAG does not suck. Defense, LAG does not suck.
They don't suck, but I mean, they're 2-2 in control this split versus Carolina Royal Ravens that is 3-1, and
they're the best in the game on defense.
They're the best in the game on defense, but Carolina Royal Ravens is top 3, so like it's really really just the battle of maybe who wins an attack or whoever gets that round 5 defense.
You gotta remember, it's a different team, but yes, they've played a ton of vault, 8 vaults on the year. A couple of Haciendas, 2-1 on that one. But the last time we did see Carolina on Hacienda control, it was the struggle to get a tick. Like they kept not stacking the points, so maybe there is a little bit of opportunity for LAG here.
Will we get to a protocol? You got to win control first. Let's send it back to the casters.
It's funny you should say that, Ant. You're absolutely right. Last time, it might have been the very last time we saw them on this map, but we did get to watch the most shambolic, insane
It was terrible.
control of all time. It was pretty funny. I had a good time, but I don't think the Ravens did. That has definitely gone though, right? Chance, there's that work's been done. That work is finished. They're not that team anymore.
It's been such a long time from that moment. I do just appreciate the defense stats from LAG of like, what are the good stats we can find for this team? Boom, that's the graphic. Put them right here. We got the spot for it because not a lot of love for LAG this year as a whole, but maybe the come up is inbound, maybe a reverse sweep on the cards. Or maybe Carolina's going to just continue to feast because quite frankly, just on a teamwork front, they've been just a clear-cut better team.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is the difference between a squad that's a lot more well-practiced and has a lot more confidence under its belt and a squad that's going through, you know, the lineup shuffle. It's very, very difficult. You do need that certain magic, man. The chemistry's got to click immediately for the Gorillas mates, and it has to click now. It is a one and done here in Mynor 2, and they are a single map away from elimination. El Hacienda control has got to be magical, and here we go. Sprinkle it on defense first.
And just to backtrack, it'd be interesting to hear from guys like Gwyn and Lunars as well, of like fairly fresh to like the CDL. What's like the big differences between playing at this level and challengers? Is it just like better gunning from the opposition, or like better teamwork from your teammates, or the enemies have it, or just their thoughts on it? But what we're thinking, they're shooting their guns. A lot of trades rolling through, and Carolina maybe an ever so slight advantage in the round, but a lot of COD left to be played.
Yeah, tons. And this is the way Hacienda's going. So far, the Ravens have been kept back as much as possible right now. As you can see, the Gorillas makes defense shuffling around the top corridors, so the top spiral position is going to be loaded. You're not going to be able to get into these corridors without any kind of trouble. So Teach doesn't check that corner. Gwyn thankfully does in the trade. But again, it is a very strong defensive line right now from the Gorillas, mate. They're not letting a lot get out.
Yeah, it's big wins. Every single player on LAG wins their one-on-one gunfights, and Carolina's teamwork is good. They got all the trades, but then you just lose the extra ones. And now Priest is picking up pieces in the feed. Gwyn's the only man keeping the play active, but hops on the B zone, stops the clock, and buys his teammates time. And Vivid, with the Jackal, worked himself out of B. The team is here.
Yeah, the lads are flying through fences. Slasher very diligently watching the flank, but no one to be there just yet. Able to get at least one segment done. This is good work. Lovely scramble there from the Ravens to get a little bit of pressure back on there. 50% of the way through B, cleaned up. Teach, last man in. He's going to get some time here before Lunas can get to the fight.
And this is a slow approach by Carolina, but a perfect one as well. You had Slasher watching the deep flank, but you had TJ watching the half flank coming in through dark, so every route covered, every trade is gonna be there, and Gwyn and Slasher deliver the final goods. Nice read from Slasher as well in the end. Coordinated gameplay right now from Carolina.
The Carolina of old on Hacienda. We got a DM from Nameless about the match he was referring to. I think I was referring to a different one. A separate bad map / round from the Ravens. Not this, though, folks. Clean as a whistle as they start things off swimmingly on Hacienda.
And, you know, so much for that defensive stats. No disrespect to LAG as well, because that was a tough one indeed. Had a little bit of control at one point, but ultimately not enough in the tank.
Well, it's the trades, man. It was the Ravens. They break down the defensive setup, which is good enough, but you get in the trades, and once you walk away with a couple of them, the last man left alive is always a Raven, and he's always on the point, and that's all you need. And it would really make anything happen just yet, though. The Gorillas makes now as they march their way towards A. And B, it's going to be a two-man capture over by A for a second, but we might be committing to the top halls. Yeah, we're going to one man down low, back over to B, try to maintain that plat presence.
And just another look at the minimap as well. Even when like LAG had the pressure towards the B zone, the Carolina players forcing the spawn out over towards Lambo. So there's just never coordination from the LAG team. They're going to have to do so much extra work to get everybody involved. And even Linz right now, isolated, traded out. They get the identity, they get the kill, and LAG are firmly back to square one, and only 45 seconds left on the clock as well. This is a painful looking round.
Oh, 40 seconds, not over yet. All it takes is